Reacher has almost always struggled with a major problem, but it looks like the Negley spin-off is already avoiding the same issue in one major way. Unlike Amazon Prime Video's Reacher series, the upcoming Negley spin-off show will adopt a completely original storyline and not be based on any stories written by Lee Child. Owing to this, it can be a little hard to predict how the spin-off will unfold and whether it will be able to match the high standards set by the parent series. However, based on how Maria Sten's Frances Neagley has been portrayed alongside Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher in the Amazon Prime Video detective series so far, one can foresee how the spin-off will likely unfold. Given how Alan Ritchson's return as Jack Reacher has been confirmed in the upcoming show, the spin-off will likely share many similarities with the main series. At the same time, it will also seemingly overcome one major pitfall from the parent show, considering how one Reacher Season 3 scene gave Negley her own unique identity. Since Reacher Season 1, Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher has muscled his way out of several dire situations. His entire shtick in the series revolves around him using his size to his advantage to overpower bad guys. There are moments when Jack Reacher, too, gets tactical and puts his military experience on full display. However, more often than not, the Ritchson character uses his nearly superhuman strength to get his enemies out of his way. When it comes to Negley, however, the show has seemingly taken a significantly different approach so far. There were sequences in Reacher Season 2 where Negley, too, had to get involved in one-on-one fistfights with the villains. But unlike Reacher, Negley often maintains some distance from direct confrontation, unless absolutely necessary. Even when a few assassins break into her office in Reacher Season 3, she makes the best out of her surroundings to strategically deceive the villains into falling for her traps. Instead of merely relying on brute force like Reacher, she takes a more cerebral approach toward overpowering her enemies when they outnumber her. In high-stakes situations, she seems to carefully strategize ways to disarm her enemies before confronting them head-on. As established in the Reacher Season 3 sequence, Negley also does not shy away from using guns, which makes her seem far less invincible and overpowered than the Alan Ritchson character. After watching Reacher Season 2, it was hard not to see how Negley and Jack Reacher were a little too similar. Both characters carry themselves with a stoic demeanor and exhibit a kind of calm intensity that reflects their years of combat experience in the military. The two characters also have a similar dry sense of humor and often use fewer words to get their point across. Despite mirroring each other in several ways, Reacher and Negley seem significantly different in their approach to violence and action. While there is nothing inherently wrong with Reacher's nearly superhuman feats of strength and his over-the-top fights with characters like Paulie, the spin-off cannot rely on the same action formula. While Reacher's fight scenes are often explosive, brutal, and even over the top, Negley's action sequences have a layer of realism because they highlight her intelligence and situational awareness. Reacher rarely cares about being outnumbered because he is able to single-handedly take down several men with pure aggression and force. Negley, however, understands the risks of directly confronting relatively powerful villains and treads carefully into combat with a well-thought-out plan. Negley's approach would seemingly make the spin-off's action far more realistic. While there is nothing inherently wrong with Reacher's nearly superhuman feats of strength and his over-the-top fights with characters like Paulie, the spin-off cannot rely on the same action formula. To be able to etch its own identity, the spin-off must show Negley is different from Reacher, which it can achieve by highlighting her grounded fighting style. After Season 1, Reacher struggled to raise the stakes for the titular character because of how invincible and overpowered he has always seemed against most villains. Reacher Season 3 managed to up the ante by introducing a giant villain like Paulie, but future installments of the series will again find it hard to find formidable antagonists for the Alan Ritchson character. Since Negley is far less overpowered than Alan Ritchson's character from Reacher, the spin-off will likely avoid having similar issues. The Neagley spin-off will likely come with its own set of challenges, but it will not have to constantly escalate the level of physical threat for the Maria Sten character.